Hi and welcome back. This is part two where I just do some technical analysis. It's only on a few of the products that I trade. So, I hope it helps you guys. Obviously, if you're trading CFDs, you need to make some adjustment with the prices, but the trend's the trend. Because I trade the futures and the options more. So before I do that, just the legend so you know exactly what's there. So the black numbers are going to be support and resistance levels based on trend lines. Pink numbers are going to be breakout levels. And claret numbers, they're just going to be horizontal levels where I've identified support or resistance, generally based on double or triple tops or bottoms. Okay, so let's start with the Dow. And okay, so this resistance line I've taken it from a low here actually, and then to ascending highs to get that one on at 43,249. Then I've also just got this range, this small range at the moment. Obviously, it's going to break out next week, but I've got resistance at 42,661 and support at 42,246, and that sort of coincides. I've got that uptrend line as well as the horizontal line that's merged at that same value. So yeah, I mean, stocks just consolidated last week. They could have had a big sell-off, couldn't they, really? But investors still seem keen. Okay, so then moving on to the S&P daily. Again, similar sort of thing, just consolidating last week. I got resistance at 58.21. Then I've got an uptrend line here, which is giving support at 57.40. And then I've got this, it's a rough support line, just looking at these lows here, really, which is at 56.76. Okay, moving on to the Nasdaq. I've got resistance at 22.64 and I've got support at 19.865. Now, much lower down, I've got support at 18.608. Okay, so the pound against the dollar. So obviously the dollar strengthened last week. Bit of a flight to quality, haven support, and yeah, I mean, if you listen to the macro one, I said that the dollar, and in my daily newsletter actually, that the dollar was undervalued. But of course, I didn't expect it to react this quickly. Okay, so I've got resistance at 134.06. I got some support at 130.69. Much lower down at 126.91. And I've added the fib levels on as well. As you can see, it's already broken the 382 level. It's come down, it's sort of held, but look at this, it's a doji. So doji is indecision. It's open and closed at the same price. When these happen, I'm very interested if it breaks the high or breaks the low, because that's more likely to set the trend. But just remember, that's not a recommendation, that's just the way that I look at the chart and use these levels. When you draw lines on, always make sure they're as accurate as possible. It's just being 1 or 2 ticks points out, pips out, can be the difference between sort of a profit and a loss. And so here, to be honest, not really that much in the way of trend lines. So what I've done is, again, I've got the fibs on here. So around about 111 is where the 382 is now. Obviously, sort of with the sell-off, it broke through the 50 as well. And then on Friday, it broke through but closed above the golden ratio, which is the 110 level. So again, it's just going to be interesting where the market reopens, whether it's going to start to find a little bit of support around the golden ratio. If not, for me, if it breaks through and it looks as though it's going to get weaker, then I've got 109.72 as a breakout level. For me, if it breaks that level, I'm going to be looking to short because I can see it potentially coming all the way back down to here. Just remember, this is me thinking aloud on what I'm going to be doing. It's not a recommendation for you guys. It's just my logic. It's the way I look at charts and the way I see things. But of course, all the time, it sort of holds above the golden ratio, then you're going to have the analysts quite happily long there. Okay, so Bitcoin sort of failed to hold up to the previous week's highs. It did have a bit of a recovery on Friday. When the data came out, it spiked to 63, then dropped back a little bit, and then recovered towards the end of the day. Again, possibly a little bit of haven trading. People consider it to be more of a normal asset these days, more of a traditional asset. Or maybe some people don't actually want to hold on to traditional assets and they want to move into something that is a bit more decentralized, so they're looking at Bitcoin. Now I've got resistance at 63,085. I've got support at 60,613. And below that at 58,900. Moving on to gold. It lost a bit of its volatility last week. Yeah, it sort of was up and down. Well, I mean, has it lost volatility? I mean, when it's moving 30, 46 in a day, but or dollars rather, then, but when we look at it, it's just sort of consolidated last week. And again, a bit of indecision coming in. So I've got resistance at 26.91 and I've got support at 26.52, and then way down here I've got support at just over 2,500 at 25.06. Then finally oil, as you can see, after Monday's sort of bit of indecision why it was down there, I've just got no idea. I must admit I did go along some calendar spreads and other positions just based on that. It just seemed too cheap. And then as the week went on, people were becoming more and more wary of what's going on in the Middle East and potential risks to oil supplies. So day by day, sort of, it did tend to move higher, as you can see. So I've got sort of a resistance level at 25.59. I wouldn't hold too much value on that, because I have had to go through a couple of candles to find that third point. So 1, 2, 3. I much prefer 3 points. 2 I'm not really interested in. And then I've got support all the way down here at 65, 68. So yes, big range. I wouldn't expect it to get down that far, obviously. But it's just a steady undertone, but just remember it's being sort of more geopolitically driven than it is technically driven at the moment. So that's the end of my analysis for this week. I'm doing some free trading courses. The seats for October's are full up, but there are some spaces for the November ones. It's a 3-day course. Covers all aspects of trading, including technical analysis. And if you want to join, then just email me at chris@tradingfortomorrow.com. The dates available are from the 11th of November for the 3-day course and the 25th of November for the 3-day course. So I hope you've enjoyed the analysis. There's another couple of slides coming up, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a great week. So, just a little heads up on my services. So I offer a daily newsletter. That includes global news, headlines, my views. That's a subscription service. I also offer 1-day workshops. This helps you to discover if trading could be your next career or maybe just a secondary income. But the one thing is, because I offer a variety of them, is that I can also just fill in any gaps that you may have with your current trading, or whether it's macro or actual trading skills. And then I offer a 1-week intensive course You know, that's going to make you feel confident and competent after just 1 week. And, you know, that's going to basically give you the foundations on which to build your trading career. You know, I'm going to help you find that inner trader. And that also now includes a free trading challenge. And then there's my Flexi Masterclass. That's 6 weeks of guided learning. But you can spread them out. You don't have to take them all at once. And that does help to accelerate the learning curve. And that's designed to provide you with all the knowledge and trading tools that you're going to need to navigate these markets. You know, and any asset class. You know, whether it's financial, commodity, digital, I'm involved in them all. And as I say, the weeks can be spread out there, and that also includes a free trading challenge. Trader mentoring, so you know, maybe you've already got some experience but you're looking to get to that next level and you're struggling to do that. I offer mentoring by the hour, by the day, or a monthly subscription. It's entirely up to you. But you know, I just want to help you guys to reach that next level time and again. And of course, I provide lots of trader educational content, not just to individuals but also to exchanges and brokers. And if you're looking for that funded trading account, you know, so you don't have to risk your capital, then contact me for details. I've got 2 good ones that I use. Okay, so finally, as usual, just ending with a disclaimer. So, you know, if you're already involved, then you'll know this. If not, then please take serious note of this, that trading does involve the risk of loss of capital and it's not suitable for everyone. However, I do hope it is for you. And now, because there's leverage involved from many companies, just be careful because you can lose substantially more than that initial investment. You know, the regulators are a bit more on top of that these days, but, you know, even so, just be a bit cautious. Everything that I include in these just purely for educational purposes. I'm not trying to encourage you to trade or invest. That must be your decision. And of course, before you make that decision, you've got to consider the risks involved. And that includes your financial situation, definitely your level of experience, definitely your risk appetite, and of course, only risk capital you're prepared, but more importantly, that you can afford to lose. And if you've got any doubts whatsoever, you know, first of all, think twice before you do it. Speak to a financial advisor. And do that before you risk your capital. You know, I have so many people come to me because they've lost money. I'd rather they come to me and learn how to do it and not lost the money in the first place, because that's just a waste of their savings. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed these, and you know, I'll be doing these on a weekly basis, so I'm going to post the links in places so that you can get to them. My new website will be finished soon, but in the meantime, you can reach me at the email address below on all the slides, which is chrisjtubby55@gmail.com. And all I can say is I wish you a wonderful week. Best of luck with your trading, and hope to see you again next weekend. Bye for now.